Holy Father, we thank you so very much for your grace and your mercy. And Lord, as we learn today how to record content for the web, we ask that, Lord, you inspire us to again leverage the technology so that we can reach more people. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Amen. So again, I won't go over the stats, but we all know that YouTube is playing a pivotal role in how we communicate today, more so than before the pandemic. Today, you can find out. Let me just tell you a story. In my house last week during Wednesday prayer meeting, the faucet in the bathroom broke. The faucet in the shower, and literally to fix it, I went on YouTube and researched how to do that, and I replaced the handle on my own. So it goes to show that today YouTube is the premier platform for learning, for researching, and gaining information. And what we want to do here at Calvary is equip you in how to create content for this platform and other platforms. The vision for us again is for us to be able to communicate in this visual space. In church, when we pre-record items and we play them on video, it looks better on YouTube. How many of us, just by a show of hands, and you can do option Y on your keyboard to raise your hand, how many of us watch our worship service after they air? Just do Alt Y and raise your hand. Let's see how many of us watch our services after they air. You can be honest. If okay, I just see one hand. All right, that's where we're at. Praise the Lord. So what I want you to do, there's two hands. All right. So I encourage you after our worship services to go back and watch the worship service and pick a Sabbath where you see someone who's created content especially for the web. Focus on our children's story and then focus on the rest of the service. And I'm not here to throw punches, but when you create content for the web, when you pre-record it, it just looks better online. You have much more control over that. So today we're going to talk to you about what does it take to record content at home and some strategies to get some great content going. Ready, set, record. Here we go. Tonight we're going to cover getting the right equipment, and some of it you already have in your hands or in your purse or in your pocket right now. We're going to talk about basic strategies to creating the right shot, and then we're going to walk through a basic edit process. If you use an iPhone, you'll be able to see in real time. If you use an Android, I will pray for you. We'll talk about tools that you can use, and then at the end, I will share a bonus feature where you can find information online that will go into greater details of what we've done. So in January, we covered scripting. So right now, your script is done. We're going to talk about creating the shot. Let's talk about the right equipment first. So on the screen, we're going to talk about creating content with your phone. If you've got an iPhone, an Android phone, any phone will do the job. And right here on the screen, I also have, for your viewing pleasure, a tripod. It's a minimal investment, but this will make all the difference in how you create a video. This tripod is one from Manfrotto, and the thing that makes it interesting is not only does it have a pan and tilt head, but it also has a clip on to attach your phone. Because what we want to do is when you're setting up your shot, you want a nice, stable platform in which to set up your shot, right? So to start out, the first thing that you want to do, look at your phone and then maybe invest in a tripod. There are several different brands. If you're spending around 90 to $100, you get a device that will last you several years. My tripod that I purchased, I have one that's like 10 years old, another one that's like 20 years old, and I just bought one last year. They last for a long time. So when you look at the cost of $99, don't think that, whew, that's a lot of money. It may be a lot of money, but it's a device that you will use for years to come. So getting a good sturdy tripod will prevent you from buying another tripod every couple of years, like me, because you get one and you're like, oh man, I wish I had gotten this other one. And next thing you know, every couple of years you're buying a tripod. Don't do like I did. So that's what you need. And you'll need your phone, your tripod, and to go. Now, next we're going to talk about lighting. Last time when we spoke, I shared with you that you can use window lighting. So if you have a window that's facing the north or the south in your house, where the sun does not shine directly into that window, and you put a nice curtain over it. I'll stop my screen share because you don't need to see this one just yet. And you put a nice scrim over it or something to that effect, you can get some nice soft light. When you set up your lighting, what you're looking for is to get light to hit the front of the face. So you can see my face right now is very well illuminated. If I turn off my light, you can see that my face is a little bit dark. And in many cases, and if you have lighting coming from the back, that's not going to be very good. When you're creating content, people want to see your eyes. They connect to your face. Everyone's got a beautiful face here at Calvary, so you want to make sure you show off your face. So in this case, I'm using a light. Here is the light that I use. I'm not going to tell you the price because then you'll be like, man, you got to spend a lot of money here. This light is not too expensive. If you want details, you can post in Slack. I'll tell you the make and model. What I like with this light is that it's battery powered, so I can get a Sony battery that goes for it, so I can swap out the battery, but you can also power it, plugging it in the side, and you have other, at least two options of powering it up. So you've got the battery and you've got that beautiful thing. So this light is great, and what I love with this light is bicolor. So that means if I'm in a room where the sun is really, or the light is very tungsten, one of those comfortable rooms, I can literally adjust the color of the light. So I can adjust the temperature. So I can turn it from bright white to a nice yellow. So you can almost see that change. So I usually keep it at 56K. We'll go into those details later. But basically, a bicolor light is the way to go. So if you want a light that's very easy to use, that you don't have to fuss around, that's going to guarantee you, the question that Sister Arlene just posted is the one that I'm going to answer right now. A ring light is probably the easiest setup for everyone. Reason why the ring light is but a ring light is a light that goes around your device and you place it right there and it gives you even lighting. If you go on YouTube and you look at people who do a lot of makeup tutorials or things of that nature, which focuses on the face, they use a ring light because it gives you a nice, even lighting. So this here on B&H Photo is a kit that goes for $88. You invest in that light, your lighting will look great. Just place the light in front of you. What I would recommend to everyone, and I know this is not the space to say, but we all watch TV. If you want to learn about lighting, just pay attention to what you see movie directors doing. Ask yourself, what does a light look like when it hits the actor's face? What kind of light are they using? What kind of mood is it setting? And then see if you can recreate it. So a lot of this stuff you'll learn through simply by trial and error. What I like with this kit right here is that it includes a light stand, so a way of mounting your light, and all the assortments here. I can get you the exact link afterwards. What I'll do is on the YouTube video where we'll post it, I'll post a link there so you can actually click and buy the supplies yourself if you're so interested. So again, $88 investment, but again, you buy this light, it's gonna last you for a very long time. The light that I purchased here, I'll tell you the price finally. I think I paid about $130 or $140 for this light. And I bought it at the start of the pandemic and I use it every day, every day. So it's an awesome light. So that's the thing with lighting. So let's recap really quick. You've got your phone, you get yourself a tripod with a camera attachment so you can mount your tripod in your phone into your tripod. And then the next item that you want to look at is lighting. Now it gets even better. The most important thing is the audio. As a matter of fact, people will forgive your video if it's out of focus, if the framing is terrible. But what people will not do on YouTube is if you have poor audio. So if you're going to make an investment after your tripod, the next item that I would encourage you to invest in is an audio recorder. What I have here on the screen is a Zoom H1N. This is an audio recorder. It is awesome. It is the cat's meow. And what you will do is you will connect this device to your phone. And I'll talk to you about the wires that you'll use. I'll even show it to you. But you will connect this device to your phone and you use that as a way to amplify the sound. And what that's going to do is allow you to get crisp audio when you record your video so that no one has to strain to hear what you're trying to say. So I'm going to pause my share screen and I'm going to show you my very own to show you that pastor practices what he preaches. So here on the screen is my nice, beautiful H1N. It goes for about $109 depending on where you find it, and it's a basic audio recorder. What I love about it is it has these meters in front of it. So if I were to turn it on, let me turn it on, and you will see the screen. It's terrible. You're not going to be able to see what's on the screen right here just the way, but it has these meters that tells me my sound levels. And I'll bring up the slide so you can sort of see it with greater details. But with the meters, I'm looking to aim for minus 12 dB to minus 18. You don't need to even know what that means because Pastor doesn't. I just know that if I'm between minus 12 and minus 18, I'm going to get great audio without it splattering or sounding too low. So you want to adjust those settings. Now, in addition to this, I also bought a little microphone, an Olympus microphone, about $20, and I use this as a lapel mic. It's great if you're outside or if you're recording your video in a noisy environment. This type of microphone is omnidirectional, but it picks up exactly what's in front of it. So it's going to pick up the audio in my face. So it's going to give me a great sound simply coming here. And I plug this into the mic input on the side of my device. So this is the side that it goes in. And the other side, I'm running a cable that will run into my phone, and it's got a little end right here. So if you're using an iPhone, this is the lightning to audio adapter. So this is a nice little investment that allows you to connect a TRS cable into it and then plug it into the back of your phone like this. And once you plug it in, now that audio recorder is serving as the microphone for my phone for the video that I create. What's good about this again is that you're going to get better quality audio. Now, you're probably saying, Pastor, I don't want to spend all this money. You can get a decent audio with using just your phone. The trick to getting great audio with your phone is how close you are to your phone. The way microphones work is the closer it is to the sound source, the better it's going to sound. So if you're doing a video with your phone, you want to keep it relatively close to you and you're going to get a decent sound. But when you introduce this audio interface, this recorder, you're going to get an even better sound. Let me bring up the slide again. To show you the meters, this is what you see on your screen to the right. You'll see the -6, -12, and -18. When you adjust the volume with that dial on the very top that's got 0 to 10, you're going to adjust it until the sound meters average between -18 and -12. If you do that, you're going to create a great audio file either on your phone directly or on the device itself. So again, here are the different connectors to connect that audio recorder, portable recorder to your phone. Just brought up the two different cables so you can see what the cables are like. The TRS cable is the one that I have, and it's basically got stereo left and right when you plug in. The TRRS, all you need to remember is that if you have an iPhone or some Android phones, this is the one that has the headphones and the left and right on the headphones and also mic input as well too. So that cable is going to look like this. So if you buy a cable like the one to the left, that's going to give you the great audio feed going into your device. On the slide to the right, you see this beautiful 3.5 headphone jack adapter. That's the one for the iPhone. So if you have an iPhone, you pick this up for $9 at Best Buy, and you'll be able to hook up any audio device to your phone. So we've got the equipment, we've got the phone, we've got the tripod, we've got the ring light, we're using the window light, and we've got great audio. Now let's put it together and talk about some of the basics into getting the shot. In order to create compelling visuals, you need to study visual communicators. And this is where I say it's important for you to spend time watching people who do it great. Names like Steven Spielberg, those are some of the great visual storytellers. So you want to watch movies, some of the classics, and you'll begin to see some of the language that visual communicators use. But we're not going to try to make you into a movie producer. We're simply going to help you create a better video presentation for your announcement. So we're going to talk about a couple of the rules of thirds, balance and symmetry, leading lines, eye level framing, and depth of field. Those are the items that you need to keep in mind when you create your shot. So, first things first, we're going to talk about the rule of thirds. Had to go online and find a royalty-free image, one that we won't get in trouble for sharing it in our live stream. But here's an image, and what makes this image compelling is if you notice where the photographer has put the person's head. So the most important element in this photo is mother and daughter, right? And you'll notice that they're not placed in the exact center of the frame. The visual composer moves them over a little bit to the right if you're looking at the frame the way I'm looking at it. So if I were to try to draw a line, forgive me, I'm not drawing a straight line, but we're dividing the frame, mercy. Someone pray for the preacher. There you go. Imagine with me that these are straight lines. They're not straight lines, but you've got the photo broken up into three vertical columns and three horizontal columns. And what you want to do is when you separate the frame, you want to put the area of interest in where the lines intersect in some of there. So if this was where the line would intersect in this space, you put your line right there. So let me just clear all my drawing. But you want to put the line right here where it intersects. Come on. Look at this. Look at this. So you want to put it right here where it intersects, and that's the rules of third. So rules of third, just simply remember when you frame up your shot, don't sit in the middle of the frame. Move yourself a little bit to the right of the frame. Now, when you balance it out, when you put yourself to the right of the frame, you're the most important subject. Then to the left of the frame, you want to have that as open space. You don't want to put two important elements on either side of the frame because when someone's looking at your video, they won't know what to pay attention to. So for example, if I stop the screen, you can see that I'm sitting right in the middle of my frame. I've got my busy background right here. I'm doing everything that you're not supposed to do. What I should really do is move over. So if I move over a little bit, now you can see that I'm on one of the corners and then the other space is empty space. And think about like when you watch the news, you'll notice that the anchor usually sits off to the side and there's empty space right here. And that space is usually where you can put B-roll, other footage, graphics, and things of that nature. So I'm going to slide to the middle again and do what you're not supposed to do. So don't sit in the middle, sit off to the side. Okay, so that's the rules of third, and that's about creating balance. Whatever you put onto one side, you want to have some breathing room on the other side. Okay, now let's look at leading lines. So here in this photo, you can see that there are some strong lines. And what tends to happen with leading lines is your eyes naturally wander into the frame. So when you look at this frame right here, you can see that the lines are pulling you into the frame. So if I were to point my arrow right here, you can see that when you follow along, your eyes are pulled into the center of the frame. So if I were to frame myself in this shot, I would put myself somewhere in this area, maybe closer, so that all the lines point to me, and now everyone will see that I'm the most important element inside of the frame. So they use some of that to create that visual appeal. Also, when you look at that, you look at camera level. So I'm going to stop the screen share. I'm going to look at here. You can see that in this frame, my eyes are about the upper third of the screen. I fill up the frame. You get a sense that you're looking directly at me. So when you set up your tripod, you want to bring your camera to about eye level. Now, when you're recording yourself, you can have it at eye level or slightly below you. If you have the camera above you, it makes you look really small in the frame. It makes you look insecure. It makes people just think that we're not sure about this person. When you bring the camera slightly below you, it makes you look taller and more imposing. So if I were to sit up a little bit and I tilt my screen, now you're like, man, Pastor is really imposing. He's filling the frame. I'm going to believe everything that he says. Whereas if I had the camera up, and I'm not going to do that so you don't see what's behind, but literally then you're going to see he's a little weakling. Um, in addition, there's another trick that you can use to sort of pull the focus to you. And that trick is by making the background out of focus. So in Zoom, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use a blurry background. So this just enhance the effect. But once I put on the blurry background, you can see that immediately all the focus is on my face because that's the only thing that's clear. Everything is blurring the background. Now, the way to achieve that effect with your phone camera is simply by placing yourself further away from anything that's behind you. So if you're in your room, if I were to shoot this shot right here, I would step further away from this background. This background right now is about 2 feet behind me. I would move my desk all the way to the other side of the room so that this background is further away. And when it's further away, when the phone focuses on my face, what is in the background will naturally get blurry, and that brings the attention to the focus. So that's depth of field. So again, when you're creating your video, let's just talk some things. You want the brightest part of the video to be your face. So if you're medium complexion like me, you'll notice on some of my videos, I wear darker clothes so that my face is the beautiful center of attention. You contrast it, but whatever it is, you want to find ways to bring your face to the attention. So if I have a background, sometimes what I like to do is change the color in my lights. So you'll notice this on some of my videos. I'll go ahead and I'll change the background and I'll make the lights blue. So now automatically, if I were on my nice high-res camera, my face would be nice and crisp, the background would be nice and blue. So those are some of the composition things that we've covered. We covered rule of thirds, balance and symmetry, leading lines, focus, blurry background, and colors as well. Now we're going to get into how do you actually record yourself. So we're going to try something that I have not done, but we're going to try this. So I'm going to connect you to my phone right here, and we're actually going to record in real time. So I've not done this before, so we're going to see how it goes. Boom. Okay, now you are looking at my phone. So we're going to actually create a recording right here. So this is me. Now you can see right away that the phone video looks a lot crisper than the video that we were using. So to simply record, oops, I turned this off. Here we go. First thing that I would recommend to you is not to shoot in vertical mode, but to shoot in landscape mode. Now, my phone's not flipping to landscape in the screen share, but it's in actual landscape mode. So we're going to go ahead and try to create a quick video. I'm going to record it right here, and we're going to edit it. So, hey everyone, just creating a little video here showing you how to record content on your video. On your phone actually, so you can see I made a mistake and we're going to edit that mistake out of the way. So I'm looking into the camera, I'm recording, I'm doing the things I'm not supposed to do because I should have it on tripod. I'm holding it in my hand, but you're going to get a sense of what that looks like. Thank you for tuning in. All right, now I'm done with the recording. So the video is in my phone. When you set up your shot, first thing you want to do is set up your phone, put the tripod, take a test video. So when you record the video, the first take should be just to see what it looks like. So get used to making multiple takes. So I would look at the video and then I'd play it back, look at it. Do I like it? Does it make sense to me? Then I'll record another one. So get used to making multiple takes. Even when I do the Calvary Minute that you hear that sounds nice and polished, there's usually 4 or 5 takes that go through before we get it out the door. Sister Shireen can testify to that as well too. When she's recording content, it's not usually take one. It's probably 5 or 6 takes to get everything just right. So now we've got our take in. We're going to look at how to edit. To do this, let me share the screen really quick to show about tools that you can use to edit. If you have an iPhone, you will have the beauty of using iMovie. It's free. You can download it on your phone right now. It's a nice video editor. If you're using an Android device or an iPhone, you could also use a program called InShot. There are tutorials on YouTube on how to use this technology, so I'm not going to spend all the time on how to do it, just going to simply show you a basic edit as well. We're going to go into our iMovie, and I'm simply going to find my video. So I load up iMovie on my phone, so you're looking at it, and we're going to find my video. So this is the basic screen when you get into iMovie. Simply select plus to create a new project, and you click to create a movie. And the video that I want, I already know is the one that was created today, is 24 seconds. So I select that and I say create a movie. Boom. Now my video is in. So now I can play my video and I can say, oh, here it is. I'm playing it. It looks good. It sounds great.
On your phone actually.
There you go. So if I want to start the video right here, simply in iMovie, I simply click right here, and then now I can say split. So when I do a split, I can literally go on here and I can delete the beginning part of my video, and now my video starts exactly where I want it to start. So you can do some basic editing. So the question that arose before is like, how do you edit some of your bad takes? It's just that simple. Now, if I wanted to add some background music, I want this to sound cool, I simply hit the plus and I go down to audio, and iMovie has some pre-built audio tracks, so I can say better than chocolate because I am better than chocolate. Boom, hit the plus sign, and now it adds the music to the background. So I don't know if you can
content on
hear
your
it,
video.
but there it
On
is.
your
The
phone,
music is
actually,
playing in the
so you can see.
background, low, and so forth. So that's some of the basic rudiments of editing. Basically, what you want to do is you want to make sure the sound of your video sounds great, that you look great, the visuals is compelling, and you want to make sure that all the distracting elements are out of the way. So if you make a mistake, you simply go in and you can splice out you can cut it out and do that. You can also add text if you want to. So with iMovie, you can go in and you can put some text here and you can edit the text and so forth. So you can edit it and you can say, there you go. Little boost of ego right here. And so now when
Content
I
on
put
your
this in,
video. Um,
boom, there it is. I don't recommend you do that. Someone's gonna look at you funny when you put that the text on your video. But anyways, that's just to show you how you do it. Now, when you're done, you hit done on your phone. Now that project is right here ready to be shared. But next month, we will talk to you about how to share your content with our communications director so we can also bring it into our video announcements and so forth and so forth. So I did cover and hit you with a lot of information. I want to pause right here because I'm sure there are some questions and I can answer the questions to the best of my ability. So we're going to go ahead and stop the screen share and we're going to open up the floor. I'm also going to bring in my co-hosts and put them on spotlight as well too so they can uh, help. Okay, Sister Lori, you're first to ask the question, so we're gonna give you the microphone. Go ahead, talk to us.
So on the iMovie, does it allow you to change the background as well, or is it just as is?
So that's a very good question. iMovie will not have green screen capabilities. You would probably need a more robust editor. So if you're using a platform like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, those are the editors that you can use green screen technology and you can mask out the background as well too. But for iMovie, the way to get around that, I would say, is simply like what I did with my video. I would shoot with a white wall in the background as opposed to having this busy background. So for quick edits, you're gonna get what you get with iMovie. It's just gonna give you a rough cut, but with a more advanced program, you'll be able to mask out some of those things as well. I will say that you will save time by creating the final shot before you start recording. So the philosophy is think about the end in mind before you hit record. So if you're like, man, I want my background to be undistracting, make sure that when you set it up, it looks the way you want it to look before you hit record. Because when you get into post processing to mask someone out, you can probably spend more time than it took you to shoot the video to get a good mask going. And at that point, you're like, no, let me just reshoot the shot. So good question.
Those things are apps, Pastor, InShot and what are you using on the iPhone?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. So InShot, Elder Gray, just to encourage you, InShot is also available for Android as well too. So it's available on Google Play. So InShot works similarly to iMovie, but it's available on both phones. So if you wanted a nice, simple video editor, you can get that in a Google Play Store, and you'll be able to do everything that you do on iMovie and more with InShot.
Okay, thanks.
The equipment you showed us today, can you give us a total cost of everything that you were able to show us?
Yes. Okay. So the bare minimums that I would say to start with, you want to start with your audio recorder. So that's about 119. So for about $300 total, 3 to 350, you can get everything that you need. Audio, I would say get the tripod first for $99 to $100. That would be my first investment into everything. Because the sound reinforcement, most phones will get you a decent sound. So if you're like, man, I don't want to spend a lot of money right now, I don't want to spend $300, get the tripod first for $99, start creating content. And once you get used to that workflow, then the next investment that I would say is the audio recorder, to make sure that your audio sounds very crisp. When you introduce that into the mix, that will bring you up to about 200, 210. And then the last step will be lights, because you can use window lights. So when I first came to Calvary, some of my first videos that I created, I simply used my office. Like I just put a nice soft blanket and you can use that light because it's free. So the light would be the last element that I invest in. But for about $300, you'll have a full kit to go for $350.
If it's okay, I just wanted to add to what you said regarding Sister Lori's question. So, Sister Lori, I also I'm still using free software. So one of the things that you're talking about doing, the video over the video kind of thing, or video over a picture, they can be done even with the free software. Now, are they going to come out as professional? Definitely not. But if you put a little bit more thought going into it, you can definitely, and you're creative, there are definitely ways to pull off the same idea. So like I said, there's going to be some limitations, but if you're a little more creative, you can definitely kind of pull off the same thing.
So, Sister Lori, just want to show you how you can do the picture-in-picture effect inside of iMovie. So you've got your main video, they call that your main timeline, and we're going to add a video on top of the timeline, and usually they call that B-roll. So in this case, I'm going to do a picture-in-picture effect. So I simply click the plus here, I click on the video that I'm looking for, so I'm going to click all videos. And now what I want to do is find a video. So let's see if I got a video here. Let's do here selfie. There we go, because that's even funner. So I want to add in my video a clip of me roller skating. So I simply click on a video here, and when I click on the three dots, I'm going to say I want to do picture in picture. So when I do picture in picture, iMovie will automatically build that effect for me. So when I play the video, you will see the video
on your phone,
in that frame. So you're limited as to what you can do with it. So you're not able to move it around like well, I guess you can. Excuse me. You can reposition it. Look at that. I'm learning something. Of course, I don't use iMovie that often, but there you go. You can reposition it, and now you can play your video, and now you've got your two videos.
So looking into the camera, I'm recording
in frame, and you could see if I had framed my shot properly, moved myself off to one of the corner, the video would look great. So that's one way to do it. And then if I delete this, I can also do another effect. So I can go ahead and pick another video here. And when I hit the three dots, now I want to do split screen. Boom. So then iMovie will also create the little effect for me. So now, look at this.
On your phone, actually, so you can see I made a mistake, and we're going to edit that mistake out of the way.
So there you go. So with the free software, you can create some of the effects. You just have to plan. So I should circle back to this. You have to plan your shot long before you do it. So don't do like me where you shoot the video and then after you're like, man, what is it that I want to do with this? So if you start out with the plan, and I should have really started out with that, is storyboard what you want to happen. Say, okay, here's the story that I want to tell. I wrote my script, and Sister Shireen did a good job telling us about that. Then you say, what videos do I want to go to support my script as well? So if you're shooting on your iPhone, you can go shoot those B-roll clips as well after you do your main clip, so that at the end, you're just putting everything together to tell the story that you want to tell. And so knowing that, I would have framed my first shot properly so I could use my picture in picture and put it off to the side. So then I don't have to say, oh man, let me reshoot that clip over again. So just a little planning goes a long way to creating the final project. Don't do like Pastor. Oftentimes I get a moment of inspiration and I shoot my video, then I'm like, what B-roll do I want to use? And then I'm limited because my main storyline, I may not have framed it properly. Whereas if I started by doing the plan first and writing the script like we learned last month, I'd be well ahead. So awesome. Other questions? Sister Shireen, I see you want to.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the benefits of having a green screen or like Brother St. Cloud's background, a plain white background, and so on and so forth, the benefits of choosing either one?
Yes, very good question. So if you choose a green screen or a nice monochrome color, so usually a green screen is an evenly lit screen where your lighting is perfect and the background is the same lighting. What that does is when you're using a program like Final Cut, and dare I get fancy? I'm not going to open up Final Cut here because I didn't prepare for it. But anyways, when you're using a program like Final Cut, you can key, they call it keying. You can key yourself out of it or load something else in the background. The program uses calculations to figure out what the green screen is, and it will load content into the green screen so that way you can have a different background. So when you use a plain background, a white background, or a colored background with a green screen, you give yourself more options when you're editing to change out the background. If you start out with a background like this, you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to key that out because there's just too many different colors here and there. So a white background gives you a lot of flexibility, or a green background gives you flexibility in changing the story and changing the shot.
And I brought that up, for example, when we're putting together programs and we're submitting videos, when whoever is working on it has now the ability to put a logo on there, the Calvary logo, if it's a plain background or a green screen. We've done it where we did a concert and we put a background totally different. Brother St. Cloud created a beautiful background with stars and like you were there, right? So when you're creating videos for other people to work on, you think about your background as well.
And just
Now,
as a bonus, you can reap the benefits from having a clean background or a green or white, even when you're doing photography. I know we're talking about recording, but like I said, it's a bonus. It does help. That same idea of keying. That's new to me, but for me, it does make it a lot easier for me to cut someone out of one image to put it into another, or to change the background. It's always doable, but it does make it a lot easier. And if I know that's the intention I have with that photo, I make sure to have a cleaner background to make it easier for me later.
mhm. Now, one last thing that I want to share with you, if you are really getting into this, you want to develop a workflow to manage your files. So usually when I create a project, I have a folder structure because I do all of my editing on my computer. So I did show you how to edit on your phone, but I like to do it on my computer because I have a little bit more options. But if I import it into the computer, I create a file structure where I keep my videos in one folder, I keep my audio in another folder, and I keep my B-roll in another folder. And that way, whenever I work on a project, I know exactly where my files are. So that's more advanced editing type. When you're on your phone, just you want to keep your data in a order that makes sense to you so that later on when you come back to this project, you know what you can use the footage for. So as you get more advanced in creating this type of visual storytelling, you may create a video today, and in 6 months from now, part of that video can fit into another project. So when you create an evergreen and you keep track of your files and you organize your files, you're able to later on reuse part of the files in other projects. Now I want to share a bonus with you because you came out today.
Can Pastor, before you share your bonus, can we see what iPhone 8 question is? Has it?
Yes. Oh, I am so sorry. iPhone 8, Robert. Yeah. Question. Go ahead. iPhone 8. I'm sorry.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, Sister Shireen. Pastor, you mentioned about using the camera for recording and video. Is that a just as good option or a better option?
The camera on your phone or another camera?
If you have a Canon product or a
Yes. Oh,
Ultra.
great question. Yes. So I'm going to answer it two ways. I'm going to answer the question you didn't ask, but I'm going to also answer the question that you did ask. When you're recording on your phone, you want to use the back cameras on all phones. The back cameras is going to be higher resolution. So on an iPhone, you can get 4K video. Android phone, you can get 4K video. So don't fall into the temptation of looking at the front of your screen and using the front-facing camera because the resolution is not as good. Now, in answer to your question, a Canon M50, Nikon Z50, or Nikon Z6, all these cameras are awesome for creating content. The reason why these cameras will be, if you have deeper pockets, a great tool is because of the creative control that it gives you in terms of making the background blurry, in terms of using different lights, really dialing into it. I can do some really good slow-mo effects here. It gives you a lot more control, but the workflow is a lot more intense as well too. So I would definitely say if you're into it, definitely. Oh, someone said Canon, no Nikon. Sister Arlene, the Lord still loves you, but I heard from my guardian angel that this is what they use in heaven. I'm just kidding. That's blasphemy. Let me not say that. Let me not say that.
I'm glad I'm
Mercy.
not close for the lightning strike.
We will edit that out. That was just for here. So there you go. So yes, a camera, a Canon, a mirror. The cameras that you want to look for though is a mirrorless camera. So if you're going to use a bigger camera, a mirrorless camera, because they have some great face tracking features, just like your phone. Like when you shoot with your phone's going to automatically track your face. Those Canons will do that as well too. I have an older camera as well too. This is a Nikon D750. It's also great for creating video, except the autofocus for this one is not really designed for video. So this would be a camera where I would set up a static shot and I'm not moving back and forth, then I can create some video. Last thing that I will tell you, when you upload your content or you're sharing your content, the standard that I would say to work from is 1080p as the bare minimums. It's going to look great on YouTube, look great on Facebook, look great on a church big TV screens. You can edit in 4K. Just what happens with 4K, it takes up a whole lot more space. So your 30-second video will take up a whole lot of space on your phone, and then you're gonna wish you had a 10 gigabyte phone instead of not a 10, 120 gigabyte phone. Or is it 10 gigabyte? Like, that's 10 years ago, but you'd want to have a larger phone. So if you record content in 1080p, it will look great for today's standard. And by the time 4K becomes the industry standard, your story is going to change. So you'll probably have a new phone that does 4K as a minimum, and you can tell a different story. So I would say don't worry. Ooh, Sister Arlene's braggadocious 1 terabyte data phone, have mercy. So there it is. So we've covered everything. So just to recap, um, equipment that you want to look into, tripod being the most important one to give you a nice stable shot. Then afterwards, I would recommend an audio recorder and a microphone. This lavalier mic was it's an Olympus one. I think it was $25 at Best Buy when I bought it. You don't need an expensive one. I do have a more expensive microphone, lavalier mic that you can. I mean, you can spend upwards of $300 to $400 on a lav, but this one for $30 will give you a great sound as well. Plug that into your device. After you have great audio and a great tripod, the last thing that you want to do is invest in lighting, and the lighting will allow you to record at any point of the day. For example, right now it's dark outside, so if I have my lighting here, I can record at night and I'm not waiting for the sunlight to come, so I can create the light that I want. That ring light will be the great one to go. And then we talked about framing your shot, all of that good stuff. We showed you about editing, InShot, iMovie, and now I'm going to share this bonus feature for you. If you really enjoy creating content, you start creating videos and you're making announcements at church and you're loving the process, the Lord has pointed out that this is your hidden talent here at Calvary, and He's blessing you and bestowing you with more and more wisdom. One place that I would recommend that you go on YouTube is this place called Think Media. Think Media, his story is this gentleman started out doing AV work at church, and now he runs his own YouTube business. And what he does is he teaches everything about creating content online. So he's got videos on scripting, he's got videos on creating thumbnails, he's got videos on technology. This bookmark this site and just go there. So here he's got everything. He's got mic reviews, camera reviews, before you buy everything that you can know about this. So this is one place that I would start looking at. I have other YouTubers that I follow as well too for inspiration. But this is probably the space that I would say that you start and you look at it. The key thing is have fun. And for us here at church, we're going to bring it back to the appeal. Every sermon has to have an appeal. What we're simply looking to do here at Calvary is to position us so that instead of creating our announcements in front of the microphone in church, we position ourselves to pre-record our announcements. Then we can time our announcements, and what that does is ups the level of production for the person that's viewing on YouTube. When we create our video in-house, we edit it, the sound levels are perfect, the visuals are perfect, everything looks good. The person at home watching the channel, they just like, it makes them feel better. And they'll be like, we'll come back to this church because it feels great. So that will be the stretch that we're going to encourage everyone to go for. So after next month, we're going to put all three of those lessons together. So by now, you should be working on your script. I want everyone writing scripts. I want you to every week write a different script. So if you're doing an announcement for church, even if you don't record it yet, write your script. Review the lesson that we covered in January. Then this month, we want you to start shooting. Your first video has to be your worst video. So if it's out of focus, it doesn't look good, don't worry about it. You'll get better over time. Pastor's still getting better over time. And in March, third week in March, we will have the final installment of this training series where Brother Rob will show you effective ways of sharing your large files, because these videos will take up space. There'll be 50 megs, 100 megs, a gig, 2 gigs, and you're not able to just email them out as an attachment. So he's going to talk to you about strategies on sharing your content. So we're going to bring this meeting to a close. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Again, we're giving you multiple ways to learn how to leverage the technology here